You ever had your soul leave your body in public? I'm not talking heartbreak. I'm not talking near-death experience. I'm talking your credit card declining. Loudly in front of people who matter. That's the moment you realize you're not the main character. You're an unpaid extra in your own financial horror film. Let me paint the scene. You're out. Maybe a first date. Maybe a work dinner. Maybe your mom's birthday and you're feeling fancy. You hear a voice in your head. You got this. You're responsible now. No overdrafts, no surprises. You hand over the card like a hero. And then the waiter pauses. He tilts his head. He tries again. And you feel the heat crawling up your spine. Sorry, it's been declined. Boom, dead. Everything goes silent. Your ancestors blink awake like, yo, we fought colonizers for this? This is the real fear. Not snakes, not heights. Financial exposure, public humiliation. Your wallet said, we broke. Let's talk about that moment. Because it's not just one event. It's a symptom. A glitch in the matrix. The day your money habits slapped you in the face. You weren't declined today. You were declined 3 months ago when you said, I'll just buy it now and worry later. Swipe now, cry later. That's how they get us. They design it like a game. Tap, swipe, beep. No pain, no hesitation. You don't feel the burn until the card catches fire from all the bad decisions. Let's go back. You remember when you got your first credit card? They said, congratulations, like you won a prize. But they didn't say what you actually won. 21.9% APR. An invisible treadmill. And a life sentence of chasing numbers you don't understand. You thought it was free money. You thought, I'll just pay it off next month. Next month turned into never. You were just paying off the interest on the interest cousin's wedding. Your credit score became a haunted number. You didn't even check it. Why? Because looking at it felt like opening a message from your ex. You know it's pain. You just don't know how much pain. Fast forward, you're at the grocery store, just a few things. Maybe some eggs, milk, and an emotional support bottle of wine. You see the total, £11.28. Not wild, not rent, just normal. You swipe. Declined. You tell yourself, oh, it must be the machine. Number, it's not the machine. It's the £5.97 you spent at 2 a.m. on sushi you didn't finish. It's the £3.99 monthly subscription to that app you forgot existed. It's the £9.50 oat milk lattes you've been pretending are self-care. Add it up. That's where your credit card died. In the war of 1,000 small transactions. And let's not forget Amazon, the black hole. The vortex of it's only £14.99 37 times in a row. Credit cards love Amazon because that's where your self-control goes to get assassinated. Let's talk about the emergency fund you never built. The car breaks down. You don't have savings. You have vibes. And a credit card with just enough space to trap you deeper. So you swipe and then lie to yourself. This is the last time. But you and your card are like toxic exes. You keep going back, even though you know it ends in pain. Now let's talk about the worst decline I ever saw. My boy. We'll call him James. James takes a girl out to Nobu. First date. He's flexing. Ordering starters like rent isn't due. Drinks flowing. Bill hits £224. He hands over the card with confidence. Declined twice. He sweats through his shirt. The waiter leans in and says, would you like to try another one? She's looking at him like, do you even exist financially? He pulls out another card. Declined. She paid. She paid. He Venmo'd her 3 months later and said, sorry for the trauma. But let me tell you what really happens when your card declines. It rewires your brain. You start seeing money for what it is. Not a tool, not a weapon, not even a solution. Just a mirror. It reflects your choices, your habits, your fears. Declines expose you. They say, you've been pretending. And now the game is over. But don't worry, you're not alone. In fact, banks depend on it. The average person carries over 2,000 pounds in credit card debt, not because they're irresponsible, because life is expensive, because we don't teach kids about compound interest, but we do teach them how to dissect a frog. We don't talk about how credit cards are literal psychological warfare. They offer rewards like crack dealers offer freebies, cashback, points, airline miles to places you can't afford to visit because you're too broke to pay off the flights you bought with fake money. It's a trap with velvet walls. You ever try paying off a credit card with minimum payments? You'll die first. 1,200 pounds balance, 50 pounds a month minimum. Congratulations, you'll be debt-free in 37 years and 9 months. And by then, the thing you bought doesn't even exist anymore. That coat, out of style. That phone, obsolete. That TV, doesn't turn on. You're still paying for ghosts. And the worst part? People judge you like it's a personality trait. Like financial stress is a character flaw. They'll say, why didn't you just save more? A SIF saving is easy in a world where wages are flat and rent is built like a mortgage, where cost of living now feels like a threat, where you spend 60 pounds on groceries and still have nothing to eat. But let's talk solutions before we all spiral. Because yeah, credit card declines are traumatic, but they can also be wake-up calls, like a slap from the universe that says, stop lying to yourself. Here's what I learned after getting humbled in public more times than I care to admit. Step 1, delete the autosave feature from every shopping site. Make spending annoying again. Step 2, check your balance like it's your blood pressure, because it basically is. Step 3, set a public embarrassment fund. Even if it's just 200 pounds, keep it separate. Because when your main card declines, but you recover like, try this one, you look like you're in control, not in crisis. And don't fall for the myth that being broke is your fault. Yes, maybe you made some bad choices, but the system is designed to keep you swiping, not saving. You're not weak. You're human. They built credit cards to feel like magic, but magic always comes with a price. I remember one time I went to pay for petrol, filled up the tank, went inside, card declined. I had to stand there while the cashier announced it to the queue like I committed a crime. Cards declined. You got another one? I felt 2 inches tall. Had to leave my ID behind like collateral while I drove 3 miles to borrow 30 pounds from my cousin. That drive? Longest of my life. That was the day I said, never again. Because it's not about the money, it's about dignity. No one wants to feel like a liar when their card says insufficient funds. So you start budgeting, tracking, questioning every impulse buy like it's a personal betrayal. And when you do that long enough, you feel the shift. You stop living paycheck to paycheck. You start building a cushion. You start saying no to stuff that doesn't serve you. Because nothing, and I mean nothing, is worth the feeling of being declined in public. So if you've been there, if you've had your card laughed at by a vending machine, welcome. You're not stupid. You're not alone. You're just living in a world built to make you fail quietly and pay loudly. But now you know better. Now you've felt the sting. So next time you swipe that card, ask yourself, is this worth the risk of hearing that word again? Declined. The 2 syllables that sound like a gunshot to your ego. Use that memory. Let it motivate you. Because revenge is best served financially stable. Start small. Cut the crap you don't need. Pause the subscriptions you forgot about. Keep 1 card. Just 1. And pay it like your future depends on it, because it does. Because one day you'll go to pay for something and it'll go through. Effortlessly. No pause. No sweat. Just approved. And you'll smile. Not because you're rich, but because you've healed. Your bank balance might not be impressive, but your peace of mind? Priceless. So the next time your card declines, laugh. Because that's not your future anymore. That's just your villain origin story. And the comeback is gonna be legendary.